Hello, hello. Today we have the Sigma Ambiance eyeshadow palette. I have been waiting so long to buy this palette. I have been waiting probably years to be able to afford to buy this palette. I think I eventually was able to get it on a sale. I believe it was on a, not only on a sale, but it was part of like some sort of kind of like not necessarily like a package, but like a collection of items that were like on sale. I forgot what it's called for some reason. It's escaping my mind right now. But I think it might have been part of that. And I finally got it. I was so excited. It was either that or I think I might have gotten it like 50% off. I don't recall right now off the top of my head. I'll put those receipts down below like I always do. But I had been waiting so long, so long. I love gold. Gold is the closest I can get to yellow because I really, really love yellow. But yellow isn't really a color that's commonly used in eyeshadow palettes. Like, it's not really a shade that's in eyeshadow palettes. Like, they'll always put like a blue, a green, a pink, a purple, oranges, but yellow rarely ever gets put in a palette. So I always turn to gold as like my next kind of color that I would like to see. So I've been looking at this, I've been seeing this. The palettes for Sigma Beauty, let me just say, the aesthetics of this whole palette is just so beautiful. I love the golden box. I love the textured gold sparkles. These are textured gold, like textured gold sparkles. And then you have the back, which is also textured. You have these glossy little nuggets of eyeshadow to show you what the colors are inside. Even the brush that's on the box, also textured and glossy. So pretty. I really like this whole gig. I love the color story that they chose for this. I love the feeling and the texture of the box, of this outside box, but also of the actual palette itself. So on the back here, it says, get the ultimate golden hour glow with this landscape of warm, matte, shimmer, and metallic shades inspired by the sun's peaceful, ever-changing light. Ambiance sets the moods for any occasion. With neutral to bold hues and a beautiful dual-ended brush, this brilliant eyeshadow palette will help you look radiant from sunrise to sunset. So long. So, when I tell you how heartbroken I am, I don't know if you can tell it, it's in my voice, so heartbroken that this is not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting just, I don't know, incredibly shiny, bright, maybe metallic, super sparkly, wet looking shadows, because that's the way that they look in the pan. And you can see here it has that same thing, like it tells you the names of the shades, which I just think is kind of funny because the names of the shades are also within the palette, so I don't know why we need this again. Also, I'm surprised. Oh, here it is. Okay, so on the side it says like Ambiance. It goes Ambiance Lorraine, Sigma Ambiance. And then on one end, on this freaking corner, they decided to put all their ingredients super duper tiny. Which, if they were gonna do this, why did they need to do it over here as well? Like, that's double. And now, if someone wants to read your ingredients, look how freaking tiny that is. It's so small. Okay, anyways, I was expecting a lot more, to be honest. There is a mirror in here. I'm going to cover it up. There is a nice long mirror in there. As you can see, there's that mirror right there. It's this really pretty much 100% of palettes usually have this piece of either plastic or a little piece of paper to cover up the shades. So hopefully if ink breaks, it stays there. I really love the artwork on this because it's the same artwork that we see here. It pretty much matches up. There you go. It matches up exactly pretty much. Like, it's the same thing again and it matches up. How cool. It literally matches up. So I like the artwork on that. But like aesthetically, I think this palette is so fucking beautiful. It is so pretty. And this is really old school. And I completely forgot this is what palettes used to do. And it didn't matter what kind it was. But everything used to come with a brush. Everything used to come with a brush. I remember powder foundation came with its own little brush or little pad. I remember blush used to come with its own little brush. Every eyeshadow had those foam tip brushes in every single one. And there was always this space down here for you to put your little tool. That's something that they used to do, and they don't do it anymore. I think we completely forgot because they're aware of the overconsumption of not just palettes, but of beauty tools. So they don't do this anymore. So I really, honestly, I appreciate this, and I love this because this is a Sigma. It's got this little thing that helps you pull it out if you need that help to pull it out. I love this Sigma level brush. It is so pretty. I love the gold, and it's textured. It is textured, so it's got a good grip. And on this side, it's, let's see, so on this black end, it's an E38 diffused crease, and then on this side with the brown, it is an E54 medium sweeper. So that's that end. It's double-ended, so my initial reaction was like, okay, so I'm gonna use this side for my mattes and this side for my shimmers. There's nothing wrong, it's a good brush. Sigma brushes are some of the best brushes, okay? But this brush, these bristles feel a little too packed, but I think my main thing is that this feels a bit too big for the eye. Maybe it's just my eyes. Maybe if we have bigger, rounder eyes, this is great for you, but I feel like this brush is way too big for the eyes and was kind of hard to really maneuver because it was so big. Now this one, towards the end, I ended up using this for my mattes, and this size brush worked a lot better than this one. Do you see the difference? It's almost half of that one. I don't think you need that many bristles for that. Something like this compacted, this big, I think I usually use for my highlighter. So I usually use something like this for my highlighter versus my eyes. So I think I would have preferred a smaller, see this is, I want a brush this thick, a little bit more rounded to use for the matte shades, but then for the shimmers I would have liked like a flat kind of concealer brush, because I feel like I usually use like those very fine like concealer brushes that are quite smoothed and rectangular to pick up the shimmers. But that's my review of the brush. Moving on, let's move to the actual product. The actual product, I really like the mattes. The mattes are, I think, the star of this show. As much sparkle and all this that there is, I really like the mattes. I think the mattes are really pretty. I love how they blended out. They blended out to this really pretty kind of soft beauty, just kind of look. And it came out, you know, really, really pretty. I really liked it. Let's move that along so you can continue seeing those shades. I think it is so pretty. And all the colors go with each other. The thing obviously with this palette is that this is a gold palette. Pretty much every look you're going to do is going to be a gold look. It's going to be a warm look. So you're not going to get a lot of different looks out of this. It's very minimal kind of changes. But like that's the whole point. So you can't ding the palette for that. But let's talk about the mattes. Let's swatch the mattes. I really, really liked, was it? Let's swatch Basque. I think it was Basque. It was Basque. I really liked Basque. We have the Summer Solstice over here. That was also really pretty. Let's do Sunspot. And let's do Oasis. And they're all different browns. So I feel like they got a really good range here. I love the quality of the matte. I like how it blends out. I like how it feels. It kind of has like a slight kind of, this is going to sound kind of bad, but like a slight oily kind of feel because of how smooth it is. But to me that just means that it gets to be moved a lot more than other shades. You see that there. I really like the matte shades. I think I'm going to have to give this palette away though, and that breaks my heart because I was waiting so long to get this palette. And I think I have to give it away because I just think it's going to sit. I really, really love, if you've seen my channel before, I really, really love shimmers. And these shimmers just don't do it for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everything is for everyone. But personally, when I use these kind of shimmers, these type of shimmers that are in this Sigma palette, it reminds me of, I'll say 3 type of people. Either because these shades are very, they're not very like opaque. They're very quite transparent. They're a little bit more like toppers, way more on the soft makeup, soft girly kind of vibe. And I'm on that loud and proud and bright and in your face. And these colors are not that. And I was thinking about keeping them, but then I remembered, I was watching a ranking video because I was like, what else are, this palette is old. This palette came out years ago. I'm like, I want to see what people were saying about this palette. And someone had done a ranking and it reminded me that I still have like 2 or 3 other Sigma palettes with mattes, with neutral shades in them. And I'm like, okay, I think I can let this go. And it was also hard for me to let it go because I'm like, oh girl, I want to keep this brush. This brush is so pretty. But I really want to keep the set together. I want to keep the eyeshadow and the brushes together for whoever gets this next. But I just, let's swatch. I really liked this one, I think. Marigold and Sunflower are probably the 2 best shades in here. But translated on the eye, just don't do it for my eye. They're way too, they're just not as pigmented and as intense as I would have liked them. I think they're really pretty. I think they're nice toppers, especially this gold. This gold has the most kind of metallic shade out of all the shimmers in here, but they are quite light, and I think this is a really good everyday for someone. I don't think this is really an everyday for me. Let's do luster so you can see that one. I was so excited about Firefly. Firefly looks so pretty to me. Let me see if I can get in there. You can see that I didn't rub off the Sigma stamp that's in there, because I do like to partly keep a little bit of the eyeshadow not touched, so you can see, like something like this, what the eyeshadow originally looked like without me touching it yet. You can see how intensely bright and pretty that is, but then once touched, that is completely gone. You don't see that anymore. So here's 2 more shades. And you can see, not very intense, very soft, very much a wash of sparkle. And like I was saying, when I see something like this, I think of someone either, one, quite young, who is first starting in the makeup game and is maybe a little shy about properly, for me, right, like really being out there with their makeup, and so they're just kind of trying something, a little bit of a wash of a color that's good for them. I also think about my mom. So I think about more mature ladies who, I don't want to say for some reason, but there seems to be kind of an agreement among my mature ladies that sparkles aren't really in. I guess they just don't like the way that something too sparkly looks on their eyelids. But also, you know, as we get older, there's more creases in our eyes. I'm in my 30s and I'm already seeing it. So it's definitely understandable. So this also feels like either something that would be good for like a teenager, but also for someone who might be in their 50s. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think these colors would be really pretty, especially these. I mean, I'm not a professional, I'm not an MUA, but the softness of these mattes, I think, work really well for people with mature skin. I think it just lays on their skin so beautifully, and I mean, don't take my word for it, take it with a grain of salt, that's just the way I feel. I feel like colors like these, and that the way that these glow, look really pretty on my mom. And that also leads me to the third person, which the third person is just straight up a person who just likes that clean girl neutral aesthetic. This is definitely for that person as well. And I'm not really any of those three. I like a bright, pigmented, even when it's neutral, even when it's just a gold and browns, I like an intense kind of glam look. And I don't think this palette is meant to be for an intense kind of glam look. This feels like an everyday kind of soft look you wear to the groceries, to go to work, just to put on, you know, a little bit of color to be like, hey, I put makeup on today, I did my hair, and I'm here. You know what I mean? It's also very summery. I like the gold. The golds are very summery. So, I mean, overall, I think it's really pretty. And I do recommend it for other people. I don't think this is a good fit for me. I'm going to have to pass this on. And I'm absolutely heartbroken because I waited so long for these palettes. And I'm hoping that the other palettes that I have, let's see, there's a really big neutral palette that came out during there's like a creator and friends kind of meeting or something, and I saw it then. Oh, I think it's called Spectrum. There's a Spectrum palette that I have that has way more mattes, so I'm like, okay, so I have those. I have the Ann Cook palette, so I was like, okay, I have those. There's some sort of collaboration with like Diana Saldana. I have that palette. I have there's like a cool neutral palette or something. I have that one, so I'm like, okay. I have all these other Sigma palettes. Let's keep trudging along, let's keep trying them. This one is a pass for me, but this might be a good one for you. So let me know down below, which one, do you have a favorite Sigma palette? I'd love to know what your thoughts on Sigma are, because this is my second Sigma palette I have ever tried, and I am once again decluttering it to a family and or friend. So let me know down below how you feel about the Sigma eyeshadows. Am I getting duped? Am I duped in the sense of like, am I getting tricked? Because the palettes and the shades look so freaking beautiful, but then as soon as I try them, I realize, oh, girl, these are not for me. Y'all have a great day.